Welcome to the June 3rd, 2025 City Council meeting. I hereby call the meeting to order. And for those who are watching online or watching a replay of this, just know that we had a little technical issue in getting YouTube going, so this will be broadcast on YouTube sometime after the meeting tonight. So members of the public may attend this City Council meeting in person or may watch and listen remotely by viewing the meeting on Channel 8 WCTV and at the city's website at www.wayzata.org/WCTV. Public comment during the public forum and/or public hearing portions of the meeting may be provided in person at the meeting, in advance, or by logging into the Teams call and raising your hand during the public hearing. When your name is called in the meeting, you will be seen and heard in our council chambers and the cable channel. You will be asked to unmute, and then you may begin your comment. All public comments must include your full name and address. The second item on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. If I could ask everyone to stand and follow along. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The next item on the agenda is roll call. We have 3 of our council members here tonight. The other 2 have excused absences, so we have a short council here tonight. The next item is to approve the agenda. May I have a motion to approve the agenda as is, or does anyone want to make any changes?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as outlined.
And a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Okay, now we're in the public forum. The next item is the public forum. Just as a reminder for those members of the public in attendance tonight and are interested in speaking, please state your name, address, indicate if you are representing a group, and limit your comments to 3 minutes. If the item you wish to speak about is something that is on the agenda, for those that are in person, please fill out a form at the table and hand it to staff. For those that are watching via Teams, please send a note via chat to staff and let them know what agenda item you wish to speak about. We also require that your camera is turned on when you speak. So, do we have anything?
Mr. Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, we do not, aside from the item under public forum on the agenda.
Which will be the next thing here. So first item in the public forum is a Wayzata Sailing Center open house information presented by, is it Ellie Ansari? Did I pronounce that right? Ellie Ansari? All right, very good. City Manager?
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. So Ms. Ansari is going to highlight and talk a little bit about an exciting event that the Sailing Center is conducting soon. Ms. Ansari is a longtime community volunteer, now board member in the sailing school, and she's done a lot of other things over the years. So we're happy to have her here tonight to promote and talk about an open house. We're going to fix the mic over there. Sorry about that.
And be sure to state your name and your address if you would mind, please.
Thank you for the.
There we go.
Hi, my name is Ellie Ansari, and I'm here with Harper Gordon, a student at Wayzata High School. And we just wanted to come first and foremost to say thank you to the council, all its leadership that it's provided for the Sailing Center. And if you're not familiar with Wayzata Sailing, we're right across the railroad tracks from the hotel landing. And we provide community access as much as possible to as many different people as possible. The center's motto is sailing is for everybody. And so we really try to live to that with adaptive programs, sailing for the blind, relationships with the Y, IOCP, try to provide as much sailing and as much activities, summer camps for the area as possible. So we hope we feel like we're a treasure city asset but we wouldn't be anything if it wasn't for the people that had provided the leadership to help us have our space, take care of it, and live up to its aspirations. So thank you very much for that. I'm going to turn it over to a second to Harper. She's a student at Wayzata High School and a very valuable member of that sailing team and, of course, representative at the Sailing Center. And just a few words so you can feel the joy that comes from that place.
Good evening, council members and staff. My name is Harper Gordon, and I'm here on behalf of the Wayzata Sailing Center. I'm 17 years old, and I just returned from competing as a part of Wayzata High School sailing team from the Mallory Cup National High School Double-Handed Championships in New London, Connecticut, against 19 of the best high school sailing teams in the country. I'm also working as a member of staff this year for the Sailing Center, and again, reinstating what Ellie had said, none of this would be possible without the support of Wayzata City Council and community as a whole. I want to take a moment to thank you personally and for your continued support of our programs. I'd also like to extend an invitation to you and the rest of the Wayzata community to join us for an open house on Tuesday, June 10th from 5 to 7. All ages are welcome, and we will have food and games as well as information about the different programs that we offer, including the Wayzata High School sailing team. I hope you will come. Thank you so much.
Thanks. We're just really proud of all the kids, all ages, and we hope we bring enliven the community just as much as you created the platform for us to be here. And I guess I should state my address, 4680 County Road 19, Tonka Bay.
Right. Well, we're really happy to have the Sailing Center here in Wayzata. It's just one of those other features that make our little town so special. And Harper, are you a senior?
No, I'm a junior.
All right. So college plans are still a little bit over the horizon for you?
Sadly not. Actually, when we were just in Connecticut, I toured like 4 colleges. While we
Oh,
were there.
good. Take advantage of that time. Mm-hmm. Anything of interest out there?
Yeah, I'm looking at University of Rhode Island and Connecticut College. So that's exciting.
Yeah, very exciting. Okay, any questions on council? Comments?
I don't have any questions per se, but I just wanted to reiterate to you, because we're so gracious and grateful, and I just want to reiterate Mayor Pro Tem's words that we are just as grateful to be supporting the Wayzata Sailing Center and just have your organization in the community, and glad you're working with the high school as well. That's very cool.
Thank you. We're really proud of it's just hard to put in one package all the awards and accolades that these kids have gone out and been ambassadors from one end of the country to the other. In fact, they just brought home last year an award that we haven't had for 10 years. I think it's the first time that it was brought back to Wayzata, and they were sailing out in the Pacific in waves and things and all kinds of treacherous situations, but they did it and they won.
They're so brave. It's very cool.
To be proud of.
That's great.
Thank you. Thanks for letting us.
Yep. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
City Manager, has anybody joined us yet on Teams?
Mayor Pro Tem, they have not, so we're
Right.
good.
Item number 6 is new agenda items. So council, does anyone have any new agenda items to bring up for future? No? Okay. Next item is the approval of the consent agenda. So let me go through that here. Just a few things. We've got the approval of the check register, receipt of the 2025 first quarter financial report, and adoption of Resolution 16-2025, approving the side yard setback variance at 617 Park Street East. So
Mayor-
is there a motion, is there anybody who wants to pull anything?
Mayor Pro Tem, I just want to comment for item 7C, the staff, or the recommendation on the staff report, it says staff and the planning commission recommended approval at the last meeting. Of course, it should have alluded to the council. That's what they recommended approval
Yeah.
of. The staff actually had a different recommendation. So
Yeah.
just wanted to clarify that.
Thank you for that. Is there, hearing no changes or polling, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
I would make the motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
And second?
Second.
Okay, approved by Councilmember Sorensen and seconded by Councilmember McDonald. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. We have no items in public hearing, I assume, at this point?
That's correct.
Okay. Next item is 9A, to consider adoption of Resolution 17-2025, approving a variance for a building coverage and a variance for impervious surface at 323 Waycliff North. City Manager?
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem, and Community Development Director Alex Sharp is going to walk us through this presentation.
Thank you, City Manager Dahl. As stated, this is a impervious surface and building coverage variance at 323 Waycliff North. The site is located in the eastern quadrant of the city, north of Highway 12. Prominent features surrounding the site include Gleason Lake to the west, a private stormwater pond Gleason Lake to the east, private stormwater pond directly to the west, Highway 12 to the south. The site is guided for medium-density residential, which it is in compliance with, and zoned R4 medium-density multiple residential district. The site was developed in the early 1990s, or I should say the association was developed in the early 1990s, and the existing home has a cantilevered deck over the proposed area. This is common within this development. Several of the homes have decks. Many of these have been converted into porch features as well. These are twin homes. The home does share a wall with 313 Waycliff immediately next door. Of principal note, for this application, the required lot coverage and impervious surface coverages within this district are 35% for lot coverage and 45% for impervious surface. And the existing conditions for this lot, as it was approved before the new regulations went into place, are already in excess of those requirements. Within the table, you can see the exact amounts. The owners are proposing to construct an addition over their existing, or in the location of their existing deck structure, finishing the area beneath and adding building coverage by doing so, as well as impervious surface coverage for the roof line. One item of additional note is that this proposed addition will have approximately about a 3-foot extension beyond the deck. That is largely due to the angle of the deck versus the squaring off of the porch. But we do want to make sure that it is noted that it is getting slightly closer to the stormwater pond to the west. The conditions that are proposed are a 38.5% building coverage and a 52.1 impervious surface coverage. There are other properties within this Waycliff area that are close to these impervious surface coverages, and the owner has proposed to install a private stormwater management system if the application were approved that will help treat the excess stormwater before it enters the private stormwater system to the west. Additional information, they are looking to utilize the space as a private retreat, yoga studio, things of that nature. It would be fully finished in 4 seasons. Previously, there are not many variances in this area because there was actually PUD amendments to do several of these in the past. The PUD was amended in 2005 for 218 Waycliff, specifically because there had been a couple of projects before that where the PUD had needed to be amended to allow specific properties to add this on. In 2005, the PUD was amended to make it a variance for future applications. Engineering department does not have any additional comments other than the fact that that maintenance agreement will need to be put into place and then recorded against the property. And then the neighborhood has not received, and I changed that earlier, apologies. As of June 3rd, we have not received any additional comments from the neighborhood. The Townhome Association did approve the expansion via a letter to their association development manager. The board was not required to review this, was what was reported to us. Ultimately, the city is not responsible for association rule enforcement. And so Therefore, while we do check on that as a best practice, it was not an item of great discussion at the Planning Commission. The Planning Commission reviews variances based upon the criteria on the screen. These are consistent with the comprehensive plan. Is the variance reasonable? Is it unique to the property? And does it alter the essential character of the locality? At this time, Planning Commission did not find any reason why it would not and unanimously recommended approval of the variance. Their attached report of finding and recommendation is included within the report materials. With that, the proposed motion before the City Council this evening is to approve Resolutions 17-2025, and I stand for any questions.
Council, are there any questions of staff?
Director Sharp, when the Planning Commission reviewed this, to me, it seemed a little unclear that if below is going to be enclosed or not, and if that affected, I saw this picture and thought, okay, maybe this has been added to clear that up.
Mayor, Councilmember McDonald, it was included within the Planning Commission report. Where I think some of the confusion came in is that the underside of the deck had been finished already with a concrete patio. And so it was already contributing towards the overall maximum impervious surface.
So then that concrete pad, then I'm assuming is getting that extra 3 feet to square off to make the upstairs livable?
Mayor Pro Tem and Councilmember McDonald, I'm not sure of the construction practices with that. We were mainly looking at the impervious surface coverage and what needed to be calculated. Decks don't count towards impervious surface coverage, but the patio does. Where Planning Commission had wanted to ask some questions was why those numbers were relatively close together, and it's largely because of that patio already being present.
But the numbers of, the percentage of impervious surface prior to this work includes a concrete patio.
Correct. The existing conditions includes the concrete patio.
Thank you, well said. Okay.
Councilmember Sorensen, do you have any questions of staff?
No, I don't.
I have just a couple. I just added a question based on Councilmember McDonald's query. First off, I'd like to comment that I think the Planning Commission once again did a masterful job. They do yeoman's work on asking the right questions and going into all the details. It makes our jobs a little bit easier. But on the patio portion, is the structure that's going to be built going to increase the size of the patio at all?
Mayor
What
Pro
was
Tem.
the patio, I guess?
Yes, because of the 3-foot extension out,
Okay.
it will increase the overall impervious surface.
Okay,
So
that's
but I'm not sure that it will be patio anymore because it will be
Right,
closed space.
yeah, I was envisioning them putting something on top of the existing patio and not expanding the patio, but what is the patio will be expanded to increase okay, got that. The other question I had is, you mentioned that there were PUDs for things like this in the past. Are you aware that any of the PUD amendments that were presented in the past were ever denied?
Mayor Pro Tem, we have not found any evidence that they were, no. There are some that are approved without PUD amendments, likely at the time of initial construction, when we started really diving in based upon Planning Commission comments and questions. But specific cases like the PUD amendment in 2005 were some of the best that we found, and then a variance past that.
Okay. Any other questions? Well, I know that the owners of the property are here, so I'll offer to them, would you like to come to the podium and address the council at all? You don't have to, but I'm giving you that option. It might be your 15 seconds of fame, I don't know. You don't need to, so I'll, if you don't want to go up, that's fine. I'll just bring it back to council then. So what are your thoughts?
I agree that the Planning Commission really examined this closely, carefully, and thoroughly. So I don't see any issues with this. I think the Planning Commission did a great job, and I agree with their findings, and I plan to support this resolution.
Yeah, I would agree with all that. Again, I think the Planning Commission did do a very nice job and ask a lot of pertinent information. I did drive out and take a look at the property. It's a very nice little It's a very nice area, actually, with a really nice homes. I think it's interesting that your 313 neighbor must be okay with this. He's really the only neighbor that has any visibility, especially in the summer anyway, when I was there, to your site here. And you're a non-conforming use now, so you're over the criteria that we set for coverage and impervious, and your increases are going to be very minor also. So we look at the criteria we're given in terms of consistent with a comprehensive plan. Is it reasonable? Does it alter the character of the neighborhood? I think I'm very much okay with this variance, and especially knowing that the HOA is okay with it also. So I'll be voting to approve this.
And I basically agree with my fellow council members here. The planning commission did a masterful job, and the only concern that would have possibly even been here is if any neighbors objected to this, and they don't. So I think this is just fine. So I'll be voting in favor too. May I have a motion to adopt Resolution 17-2025, approving a variance for a building coverage and a variance for impervious surface at 323 Waycliff North?
So moved, Mayor Pro Tem.
And a second?
Second.
Hearing a motion by Councilmember McDonald and a second by Councilmember Sorensen. May I ask for all in favor signify by saying aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Congratulations. Okay, here. So the next item is 9B, and that's to consider adoption of Resolution 18-2025, approving a fence height and opacity variance at 1407 Holdridge Lane. City Manager?
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Director Sharp is going to walk us through this item as well, and prior to the meeting, he promised to keep it under 45 minutes. So we're going to hold him to that.
You said 4.5 minutes?
Need to talk slowly.
We were talking about slide rules earlier. Yeah, the decimal point.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you, Mayor, for the introduction. As stated, this is for a fence variance for 1407 Holdridge Lane. The site is also located in the eastern quadrant of the city, but I would say kind of northeastern more than the other. Actually, slightly southeast, sorry. Site is located just south of Highway 12, just across Highway 12 from some major car dealerships, which are a key aspect of this site, and west of the Unitarian Universalist Church, if I can say that. Site is guided for 1 acre single family and zoned for R1 low density single family, which it is compliant for both. The existing conditions of the site are on the screen before you. The brown line to the north of the site is an existing privacy fence. It's a cedar privacy fence that the owner has installed to negate light and sound impacts from the nearby Highway 12. The dashed line on the survey is the extension being sought that requires a variance. The reason for the variance is because in the front yard, which is the plane in front of the home, you must have shorter fences, maximum of 4 foot in height, and an opacity of no more than 50%. The applicant is seeking to have a 100% opaque fence and a 6 foot maximum height. For an aerial perspective, because I think it helps provide a little bit more context to Wayzata Boulevard, Highway 12, the proposed fence is approximately 100 feet long and would extend to the front yard and would not directly impact views of any neighbors. The applicant has taken some photos of the site to show the impact without the fence, with the left being during the day looking across Highway 12, Wayzata Boulevard to the north, and the east being during the night when those car dealerships are lit up. Staff reviewed this, and the Planning Commission discussed particularly the impacts of seeing a significant fence along a major roadway with a up to 12-foot wall tapering down towards the sidewalk. Their determination was there would be less impact. As you can see in the right photo, there's the fence location noted. If you want additional context, I do have some more photos, but in the interest of time, I've put them towards the end of the presentation to bring up as needed. The applicant's narrative really goes into a fair amount of detail on the impacts of the car dealerships, the road noise, and the impacts that they are seeking to mitigate by installing this fence. They have spoken with neighbors, and we have received 2 public comments that were actually in favor of the development moving forward. Planning Commission unanimously recommended approval, with Commissioner Elg abstaining, as this is his property. Planning Commission utilized the criteria on the screen, consistency with the comprehensive plan. Is it a reasonable variance? Is it unique to the property? And does it alter the essential character of the locality? And their report and findings of recommendation are attached as a supplemental material to the report. And apparently, there is a missing slide, so I don't get to impress you with this one. Unless, no. Your action slide is now missing. I apologize, council. We are seeking for you to approve a resolution 18-2025, approving a fence height and opacity variance for 1407 Holdridge Lane.
All right, so, council, are there any questions of staff?
Yeah, I just have one general question. If you're in a corner lot, both sides then become front yard, is that? Or like this, it's like the house is angled, so as long as the side of the house, not the back of the house, therefore it's, quote, front yard.
Mayor Pro Tem, the way, and Councilmember Sorensen, the way the code reads is if you are on a corner lot, any street fronting side becomes a front yard for its maximum height and opacity requirements. In the instance of this property, I believe that due to the drop-off, significant grade change in the rear yard, it was not deemed to be significantly next to a street, whereas in front of the house, I believe it was, because that fence permit was issued for the rear yard without a variance. There are not notes to that, but looking at the case, it's right where the wall really starts to taper at the, I would say, eastern rear of the home. And so I think that was the finding of staff when they issued that permit at the time several years ago.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? I don't really have any questions, but I'll comment on that. As you know, sometimes these zoning codes are written not being able to anticipate every little twist and turn of what happens, and I'm actually familiar with that property, having walked the street back when I was campaigning, and I didn't know that you lived there, frankly, but maybe you didn't at that time. But I remember thinking at the time, boy, wouldn't it be, if I were living there, I'd want to have an extension on that fence. And I think not only would it improve the property, I think it improves the neighborhood, because it shields some of the noise, and who wants to look at traffic on the highway. So that's probably an indication of where I'm going to vote on this. But with that, I'll just offer up to the homeowner here, if you'd like to step to the podium and make any comments at all, you're welcome to. Okay. Yeah. So we'll, with no other discussion, I'll bring it back to council for discussion. Councilmember McDonald?
Sure. Kick us off. This seems perfectly reasonable. I agree with you. I think this is going to improve the homeowner's property and the properties that have the view of the highway. So this Planning Commission did a great job reviewing this one, and I support this variance.
Councilmember Sorensen?
I very much agree with all those comments. And again, I think the Planning Commission did a good job. I think they even tried hard to find something to talk about, maybe object to, but it's just, it's pretty clear that this is worthy of a variance. I think the unique conditions, especially like we talked about with being a corner lot, being so high above the road, can come into play. And I think the same criteria you mentioned in the last issue we dealt with, it's reasonable. It's, I had the same notes that I think it's a good thing, not just for this property, but for the entire neighborhood, for light, for sound, for visibility and everything. So I'm very supportive of this variance.
And I really don't have anything to add. It's very simple. I think it's something that I would support too. So with that, is there a motion to adopt Resolution 18-2025 approving a fence height and opacity variance at 1407 Holdridge Lane?
I would make that motion, Mayor Pro Tem.
And I'll second.
The resolution has been moved with Councilmember Sorensen and seconded by Councilmember McDonald. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. So, next item is City Manager's report and discussion items. So, City Manager?
Mayor Pro Tem, one item I just want to give a recognition tonight. We are going to have more of a formal press release, open house, swearing in for our new Police Chief Jamie Baker, but I want to acknowledge her presence tonight. June 1st was the first day of Chief Baker as officially the chief and not the interim chief. I know we all thought that tag was kind of awkward. It did serve a purpose because similar to Chief Schultz, there was an interim period of time where we really were able to kind of assess Chief Baker's performance as the chief. And then more recently, we conducted a pretty thorough evaluation, talking to the council, getting more of a formal kind of review of community members, department heads, as well as probably the most important perspective, the police officers. And over the past 6 or so months, she had glowing reviews. And really, I think what sets Chief Baker for success in this position is just her strengths dealing with individuals. She served a long time in Roseville advocating for victims and really has developed, just through her communication style and her personality, this really humble servant style of leadership. And law enforcement's a tough industry. Recruitment is extremely hard right now, not just for Wayzata, but all over the country. And I think we have a competitive advantage with Chief Baker leading our department and our community for Long Lake and Wayzata because she just really is good with people, and people want to work in a good culture. Money's important. There's a lot of other things that are important, but knowing that when you come into the office or to the department, that you're going to be supported, people care, and you've got that sense of collaboration and just togetherness within the department. She brings that. She brings a lot of other things, and we're going to talk about those in the future, but I just want to acknowledge her and say welcome to Chief Baker.
Yay!
So City Manager Dahl, I don't know if you have any more in your report.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, then I'll just go ahead and interject. I will tell you that it's been a real privilege to get to know Chief Baker over the time that she's been serving. And I agree, it's a great testament to know that the police officers that serve under you think highly of you. This is a great community to be a cop. We love our cops in this town. We love our new chief as well. Welcome.
Just real briefly, welcome, congratulations. It's so well-deserved, and the city of Wayzata is very lucky to have you, so appreciate it.
Yeah, I think we'll get a chance later to talk a bit more about it, but I'm really excited for you and for the community to have you as our chief, and I know it's well-deserved, and we look forward to working with you closely.
Okay, the last thing, is there anybody that's joined us on Teams, any more public forum?
Mayor Pro Tem, no, they have not.
Okay, with that, then I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved, Mayor Pro Tem.
Second?
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you.